Welcome back to their story. Let's hear what the leadership and the people on the ground are saying about this gathering. Nna ke nna Mokokobale.
Na ke nna leina la ka ke nna Mokopa William Munyama, and then ke leloko la Makgoba Mamphoko Makgoba Community Trust. Ka mogare ga trust ke nna deputy secretary. Godimo ga fao ka gare ga trust ya ga Makgoba ke nna ke tswere portfolio ya verification ya verification ke boingwadišo bja setšhaba sa ga Makgoba, gape ke tswere le portfolio ya human settlement. Ke tswere human settlement, gape ke tswere le portfolio ya demarcation le tourism. Ke tsona tše ke šomang tšona ka mogare ga trust.
Mamotla re tlile go diang?
Mamotla mo se re tlileng ka sona go tlo tšewa resolution. Go tlo tšewa resolution ya ka naga ya ga Makgoba ka polasa ya sapekoe ka polasa ya sapekoe Metalcorp go ile tšewa resolution ya gore go na le potential partner e leng gore partner di le ba ga Makgoba le trust ya ga Makgoba ba nyaka go
potential motho o la go go bolela gore ke mang?
Ya ina le ka bothata ke Hans Merese Holdings.
O jwale kae? Le tsebang ka ene?
Hans Merese Holdings ke company e leng local e leng gore ba tšwa di tšwa gore Westphalia, and then ke company e leng gore it's even abroad, e gona USA, e gona Southern America, e gona le ka Asia, e leng Africa, bo Ghana, bo Nigeria. Ke company e leng gore e šomišana le ditšhaba tša lefatshe ka moka. Ke ka fao le rena ba ga Makgoba re ileng re kgetha gore o kaone re šome le yona.
Ke ena a le one goba go na le ba bangwe?
No, go na le ba bangwe a ke re bjale batho ga ba etla ba feria o mongwe le mongwe o tla ka proposal ya gage, then
le kgethile ena?
ke yena a kgethilweng.
Le mo kgetha ka mabaka a gore yena o phala ba bangwe ka eng?
Hans Merese ke company e leng gore e gatetse pele, and o ya ka tsebo ya rena le rena kwa morago ke batho ba e leng gore le kgale bentse ba thušana le ditšhaba tša batho ba baso le ka fase ga mmušo wa apartheid e be ba lwela go thuša batho ba baso up to this far le gane bjale ba sa thuša batho ba baso ka batho ba baso ba sokola. Hans Merese a ba tšwa gore ba ye ba donate ba dia di-charity ba thuša batho ba go sokola ba borena ke ntho e re ba re kgatlang le rena re buša gore ba ka se re latlhe le bana ba rena.
Tsola ka France Kubana ke member ya trust mo trusting ke header portfolio ya metsi, and then meeting wa mamotla go thola meshomo go sapekoe, and then ka re ke black re setse ka yona le te ka re di plaza tse dingwe re sa di emetse, and then from there re nyaka gore mamotla be shebe batho ba dileng ka mo mamotla re tlo ba addressa gore ge ba dumela gore plekela ya sapekoe mmuso re fileng yona gore re dumele gore go tlhodiwe meshomo re tlo kwa from mo bona. Nako nngwe le nngwe ge ba dumetse gore re thome meshomo ndane meshomo wa thoma re na le di-partnership tse ba re berekang le bona ba nyako fa batho ba ga Makgoba moshomo, so lebaka ke lona leo.
Ke nna Khiri Letswalo, ke nna head of inventory for Mamphoko Makgoba Trust.
Okay. There are burning issues on the ground. The community is complaining. But in this meeting, I want to do question and answer question. How is that? Like, is it true? What's happening?
Asenete re tlo dumela batho ba botšhomo ba sa kwešišeng asenete go tlo ba le nako ya gore batho ba botše dipotšišo mara ntho re sente gore re avoide ke gore re le mogolo gore go na le ditlhore and ba se ka ba senyetša meeting wa rena go na batho ba nyaka go botša dipotšišo gore ba kgwesa tlhakatlhaka mara tlo dumela o mongwe le mongwe gore na botše dipotšišo.
Okay. So It's, let me say alleged, because I'm not sure, I don't know. It's alleged the proposed investor is only one person, and you are either voting for the person or you are not.
The proposed person who a kgotsofaditšeng rena ra respecta re mo presente wa ka trust deed e re sentse mo presente community rona community ya monyakana kwa ka rena proposal ya ile a re kgatlha so a ranya ka gore re tšee molao re gata ke ditokelo tša batho that's why motho a lebile meeting wo community be yona e tlo decide gore nnete ba wa ka proposal ye o kwa motsiboledi sentse se bolela ka yona so ge bona ba kgotsofetse a re a fetša re sa tlo ba le ntho ba re ke final document ye re tlo dula fase ra kgonelela gore bona mola dipolaseng o kry-a batho ba bona ba dula ba na le dipudi ba na le dinku o se ka di bolaya ba na le mašemo o se ka tempara lona ba na le mabitla re gopela gore ba dumele gore ba boloka mo mabitla a bona ka ga bo bona ka re re na le complain ya gore ba bangwe ba bona o kare ba ba thibela gore boloka batho ba bona so ye re nyaka go ithibela e sa tlotle on that final document it will be one of the pros gore batho ba ga borena mola dipolase ba se ka tshwenyiwa.
Okay, so you are either supporting the proposed investor or you go home.
No, I support the proposed partner gore a tla tlhabololle sapiko ke lebeletseng monnola o na le mengwaga e 70 a boka ka agriculture and ebile mana o rile o tlotoma mebereko and mebereko re bola ka permanent job re bolele ka mebereko ya permanent jobs e bana ba bona ba tlo bereka mola re o lebella South Africa batho ba bereki o lebella ka mo hospital ba sa ba bereki ba lebeletse sasa ye ba diambana ba senya kudi ya bana because abana chelete ba nyaka go bala le bana go ba go kry chelete ye o ke risk go ba sona bona.
Okay, the question is, as a community member that's not supporting the proposed investor, what then? Are you forced to support this person, or what happens if you don't support? Because from what I'm getting from the ground, the people they don't really support the investor. So the question is, what happens if you don't support that investor?
No, there's nothing wrong. This is the vote. But when you investor, what's the right of vote?
And the question is, what happens now if I give a vote? Okay, sure, baka voter, go fedi.
Yes, also, that is a human right.
Yeah, but eventually, if you vote like about by 3 or by 4, he's still going to go forward because now he does not have a contestant. Is that the case?
That is not the case.
Okay.
That is not the case. The investors 5. O tle fela ba itse ke wild coast in the risk ba bangwe ba rile awo batho ba magolo le phela ka ra ditshela na re nyaka gore re tena ga ba fela le wild coast le risk so ke bona ke ba presenter today wild coast le risk.
Oh, there are 2 investors.
Yes.
Okay. And with you, which one made a proposal that you love?
No, all of them they differ. Merinsky is avocado macadamia. And blueberries. Wild coast is timber. Yes. It's 2 separate things. It's timber and...
So you don't choose between the 2?
No. Remember, this land is big. Yes. We don't choose between the 2.
We support
5. Oh. So 3, they said no, we're not prepared to contest because so yeah, obviously we invited 5 partners. So
okay.
Only 2 did pitch up.
So by virtue they are...
Yeah, obviously.
It's an obvious thing.
It's an obvious thing. It's an obvious thing.
All right.
Yeah, it's not like we present your models. 3 didn't come.
So who's making the presentation currently? Is it the representative here, those
no.
those companies, or is trust?
No,
what's happening?
The one who's making representation, head their business, he member of the trust. Assassin le Wild Coast.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, so Bafile the proposal, and you're going to make the proposal on their behalf.
ba re file proposal ba kgatla ke proposal ya bona so na re presenta committee go kgatla ke proposal ya bona ye ke yona a highlightang ka a ntšhabolela.
All right.
Ka lebitso ke Alimake ke nna ke eteletšego pele tša kgwebo ya ga Makgoba ke moleloko wa trust and also ke head up position ya business ke Makgoba head of business.
Okay, there is a rumor ya 49%, 51%. Let's say.
Yes, ga se rumor ke reality ke di engagement tse re nang le tsona le di partners tseo re di identifyilego.
Let's explain what 50%, 51, 49% means. A re tlhalose.
51, 49% e tla ka mabaka a gore rena re na le naga ga re na tsebo ya agriculture ebile ga re na masheleng a go tlhabolola so re tšere potential investor goba a potential partner yeo re nang le ena then re mo fa 49%, 51% so that re kgone go fitlhelela le market line wa bona across the globe.
Okay, so re 51%, what are they have the final say? Because the majority.
Obviously, the very same joint venture from the onset, from the beginning, it's about a patala rent to Makgoba Trust. Number one. Number two, it's the very same process because some of the farms into agreement so once the process here, a transfer of the land is completed, then there will be a shift of agreements.
Shift in terms of who has the final say?
In terms of the majority shareholder.
Okay, so they're paying this 100% venture, it's paying into the trust. Who's the 49%?
The 49% is trust.
So trust?
The formula joint venture entity ebi tswang Makgoba Fruits. Makgoba Fruits meaning ke 49% ya go tswa go trust and ke 51% ya go tswa go investor goba partner.
So Makgoba Trust is 49% into this business and it's paying to Makgoba Trust.
The joint venture, dealing the entities we have proposed, Kiona Hito Patela, that 100% of a rental amount into the trust account because the entity is formed by the potential partner and the Makgoba Trust. Now the trust is sending delegates to the entity Elero Makgoba Fruits Pty Ltd, and then the potential partner Leona Irumela Batu to come and form the directorship into Makgoba Fruits Pty Ltd.
How's the feeling around how everything went today?
Well, the feeling of the Makhobas, ordinary residents around us, with the incumbent beneficiaries.
Let's make it personal.
The feeling of
personal.
today.
Personal. The feeling personally of Mr. Make.
My feeling today, I'm over the moon because we have accomplished what we have fought for more than 12 years of our lives. So we begin to believe now that it is real and that also the development starts today because then we were never given any opportunity somehow to fully engage in business. So the feeling is over the moon.
So because now everything that goes into the trust is being managed by Mom in the meantime, while we are having dispute in court, this chelete that's coming from this 49-51% venture, where is it going to?
Yes, the MAM issue is over 39 farms which are under the notarial lease, the 40 years notarial lease. In this instant, we are using the Grenshoek and Middelkop areas because they were not part of the 40-year lease with Makgoba Asset Management. So we have got a clean scale of shareholding and percentage-wise, and in terms of the operation of that very same entity, because it does not affect any of the outside agreements. This is the beginning of the trust, and this is where the trust has to begin to now engage fully, and to saying that we as the trustees and elected trustees of the Makgoba Community Trust has to then showcase to the majority of our beneficiaries and to the country at large what we're capable of doing.
Thank you very much. Askis, the music is disturbing us.
Thank you very much.
Tovela, ke Matsubane Sodisha, ke tswa mo Mapulana Maponya Incorporated, ke firm ya training, e le reng e represent the trust mo dilong tsa molao.
Okay. So there's a question of 51%, 49%. We don't understand. What does it mean?
Yeah, well, I get one question guy because I think as the department has already alluded legally, there's still going to be agreements, feasibility studies, checking whether the project plan the investors are bringing in terms of development, are they feasible to the trust? And then the issue of shareholding then will be discussed. So I'm not at liberty to say where do they get it, but there's no agreement hearing anyone will get 51% or 49%. So that is still going to be part of the agreement. Alone is going to be reached after feasibility studies and other things are looked at before the agreement is signed.
In simple terms, there is nothing like 49, 51%.
I don't have a contract and agreement airing someone will get 51%, someone will get 49%. Until I see it, then I can confirm it.
So, in terms of...
But let me confirm, or there's no agreement. That I can confirm, unless if some people signed it somewhere. The resolution here says, can we engage them and get proper agreement in favors the community? That's what we are for as the attorneys also.
Okay, this question. The Makgoba Trust, they have land. The I'm sorry. Is it HMH? Yeah, HMH. They have resources for the development.
Yeah.
In your understanding, who is more important than the other?
Well, both are important. One is bringing resources, is bringing expertise. One is having land. Both are important when they put their land and resources together.
Equally.
For the development.
Are they equally important?
Yeah, understand the equally important of what they are bringing. So you cannot exclude the other because I have land, you are not important, or you can say you're not important because you are just bringing land. They are equally important for what they want to achieve on behalf of the community.
Okay. Another question is, this investor that is coming, is it possible that the trust hires them, we're hiring you, not that you guys are coming here and probably a partnership?
Well, and this is my opinion, it would not make sense to just put people and say we are hiring you to do this, because what you are looking at when you do this kind of agreement is skills transfer. You want to come at a point where we can say after 10 years we don't need you because we've got enough skills to do this ourselves. So the reason why we want the two, personally I would want the two to come together, is so that I don't hire you, let's work together, so that I know I can be able to monitor our youth. They are being empowered from management level, executive level, until the one working down, everyone is empowered, so that at a certain point we don't need these people to come and keep working with us. We know we have enough skills to continue on our own. That is the most important thing, according to me. That's my opinion.
All right. There's a question of these people violating the HMH and the Westvalia, violating the Makgoba community. How do you advise Is it okay? Is it advisable that the trust these companies after all the alleged complaints, or can we say because those complaints are not because they are disputing?
I think there are genuine complaints. We're also aware of them from a legal point of view, but we must still also be able to separate issues of development from issues of legal issues. I'll give you an example, and we've given this advice before to some of the youth members. We are busy with a case that will eradicate all these problems in terms of accessing the land and everything. Just be patient for a few months, 4 months probably, and then this will be over. But then you get people who keep going into the farms and wanting to vandalize and all that. And we are not promoting that, but we are just saying people should be patient. Let's resolve this, but let's not put this thing together and say we don't want development because people don't want us to go into the farms. These are the things that, these are the problems that we are dealing with in court in terms of people are having the farms, the farms, and then they decide who must go in, who must not go out, and this will be resolved through the court. That is quite obvious. When the case is resolved, then we know people will have access to the farms.
Okay, let me put it like this. These people, their complaints and they're in court, okay, and we are saying that we're going to still go and have development plans with you despite the court cases. Is that the situation?
Okay, let me put it this way. For example, I'm not sure this is a complaint about Westphalia. At the moment, Westphalia have their own farms, which are not even part of MAM. And if you're going to come into my house and try to violate me in my house, I'll go to court and get an order against you. So as far as I know, Westphalia farms has not been transferred. So if you go into Westphalia farms and want to vandalize or do things there, the farms are not yet in the hands of Mahol. So you cannot go there until such time that government transfer the farms into a Mahoba community trust. Then you can say, these are our farms, we want to know what is happening. I'm speaking as far as Westphalia is concerned and under correction. There's not been transferred. Now people of Mahoba cannot say because there's 13 farms which government is busy with, they want to transfer, we want to go in. Up until they are transferred, then we have the rights to the farms. That is as far as Westphalia is concerned, because I think we are trying to say, let's separate the two. There's ZZ2 where the farms are already transferred, we want to know what's happening with the farms. There's Westphalia, wherein farms are not transferred at all. They are still under title deed here Westphalia until they are transferred to Mahol. And as a result, you can't just walk into those farms because they are not your farms. They still belong to Westphalia until government has transferred them. That's why I'm saying we must separate these two and say, if you're going to Westphalia farms, they're not yet transferred. Even if you believe that they'll be your farms, you cannot do anything until they're transferred by rural development. And then there's those farms that are with ZZ2 where you can rightfully say, but these are our farms, why are you chasing us away from them?
Okay, so I get there are cases that are currently
those
in
are
court.
cases against MAM. They have got nothing to do with HMH. I think it must be clear.
They're against MA.
Cases against Mahoba Asset Management, which part of the shareholders is ZZ2. It's not HMH.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, I actually thought it's actually HMH. So I wanted to bring a question on that. I get it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
My name is Joseph Makowa.
Okay, so there's a question of Mareske having resources, and there's a question of Batubara Makoba having the land. Who is better than who?
I think Batubara Makoba, they are better because Hans Mareske, with his financial resources, there's nothing he can do without land. The land is a prerequisite of any production that he wants to take part in.
So now, Barry, he's getting 51% and the Makoba is getting 49%. How's your feeling around that?
Honestly, I will say I'm disappointed because it doesn't make financial sense. How the person that I have the prerequisite, I have the most important part of
everything, yeah.
But I still have less.
Okay, so let's speak about this 51%. So this 51% includes him paying the workers, him employing the Makoba youth. What does it include? Is it profit or is it just the stake?
You know what? The ownership, it doesn't affect who's going to pay what or who's going to be responsible for what. Because at the end of the day, that 51% it calculates the annual profit or the turnaround of the monetary value of or the assets of that production.
Okay, let's go back. Let's understand this. 50% is it profit or it's just ownership?
It's ownership. So you are entitled for 50% of that business.
So in other words, you are the one having the final say because you are the one who's having more shares.
So the power is with me. I tell you what to do. Even in the board sitting, we are many. We have more rights than you do.
So will a 50-50% be better?
I still feel like we with the land, we are not in a point to negotiate. They're supposed to be negotiating that, okay, you have 100% of land, and then we can bring in maybe 30%.
So you are saying that they should actually get 30% of the business. And now
the power is still within the black community. Because even with 50%, should one of our board directors pass away or decides that they are going to sell their 2% to HMH, so it means now it's no longer 49%, you cut 2.
Do you think as the Makgoba community, are you capable of running a business on your own?
I'm running my own business now.
As an
I have 5 offices nationwide.
Nationwide. What are you running?
Medical supplies.
Medical supplies.
A sector that is dominated by the other racial part, the other racial group.
So
but I still managed to penetrate it, and I'm only 28 years. So how much more if we, the people of Makgoba, as a collective, we manage our own land ourselves?
So in other words, we can say we blame people like you for the mess that is more Makgoba because you have the knowledge, you have the skills, but you still choose to be far.
Look, if I have the opportunity, you can't blame me. But I was never given an opportunity. Just like now, I asked the question and everyone was just howling. No one chose to listen. So you can't blame me.
How's your feeling around the people howling at your question?
You know what? What I will say, the reason why I touched on the issue of empowering more than developing, that's what we lack. We lack empowerment. We don't have. We lack hope. We don't believe that we are capable enough without the white man.
How's your feeling around the trust, being the leader of the Makgoba clan, coming or accepting such a proposal?
I'm disappointed.
And where is your disappointment taking you?
They could have, if it was matter of not letting go of HMH and their offer, they could have negotiated. If then that's what they didn't want to let go.
Do you feel like the trust is desperate for this project?
Yeah. If they had better candidates that offers less, why would you go for a candidate that offers more? I'm sure you can negotiate, right? If he says I will sell you bread at 20 rands, or I'll sell you my bread at 14 rands. Where are you gonna go?
The 14 rand.
Why?
Because it's less than saving.
Yeah. So why if the other companies that propose into this, I'm sure they were not proposing more than.
So it's alleged that they invited 5 bidders, of which 3 didn't come in, and it's only 2 that came through, and then they are just taking it as an obvious thing.
Yeah, but you can't. If you are not desperate, you can't. You would rather say no. We will find another 3 that will replace those that didn't come, so that we can have more to choose from than less to choose from.
So I was speaking with someone and he said he's actually a chairperson of a development structure, and he said that if the youth can be hired and they be given 2,000 a month, it's better than nothing. What's your feeling around that?
what can you do with 2,000 a night? If you're out. Let's say you go to town. What can you do with 2,000 a night? So versus what you can do with 2,000 a month.
So you think it's nonsense?
If you like, you know what? I would be happy if I say that 1,000 hectares they're talking about. They say, look, take 5 hectares, and then maybe you have friends somewhere that can do that you can do crops or you can do whatever, and then see if then you can succeed before we go to a white man and say, we have land, come invest in our land. Let's start with our people.
Do you have a problem with white people?
I do. And it's not like I have a problem with how they do things and their recognition, how they recognize us.
Are you part of any structures, Mahoba? Why is that?
Because I still feel like other groups, they are not putting the people first. So I'm a man with principles, and I stand for something.
And you think your absence is doing better than your presence?
I'm very present.
How so?
I'm very present. Like for instance, that case I was talking about with ZZ2 about the graveyards. The reason why he's not operating is because my contribution. The trust was nowhere to be found. Their legal representative didn't want to assist them. So you can understand, you can imagine the hassle of getting all the supporting documents if the main people that have all these things, they're not coming to the party.
Do you think that the trust deserve a chance to learn and come around with every process?
Everyone deserves a chance to learn. But it's only if you're open enough and say, okay, look, I like this. Let's talk about this. What can we do about this?
Lebitso ke Leseja Abraham Monyamo ke motogolo wa ga Makopi mo ga Tshulusi bana mo hospital o feleletsa the of Rams so presently but I'm in Pretoria ke bereka go Pitori.
What was your question?
Question ya ka go gore o itse ba mfale ne even now ke santse ke dina go falea le ge ke bereka go santse ke nna go falea a sanke indirile selo ke itse ba mfalea le gore ga se a indirile selo even presently ke go ja how can the government e reke naga mo go falea at the same time e bushetse morago gape nka reka business nka reka naga mo go wena ka kwa ka jika ka rekisha mo go wena gape gore government there's something wrong ka government are no go bolla nka se reke koloi mo go wena wa tla re go na rena koloi e tlo go direla business ka yona e tla go parita again na ya gona gala.
What do you wish to see happen?
We have to change and tela go sa people is ka changing. We need a company ya ka tlang ka go develop tela gape tiene ge ke e gamo this week before we get fella it grows again, so it can be more employment than go biala avocado it do dira di avocado ga one mongwa ge.
By the look of things, but you don't support whatever you are saying. And how you did our feel.
There are those, madam, there are those who support me. But presently, by supporting, they already know what a failure is. I can give you an example right now. It's a failure. Catering, it's a failure presently. Lorela will be like a failure. Already we have been played. And in most meetings, you can level hello, I record the previous meeting, but from Mahoba. Already these guys, they already they are just trying to bribe the community. They are not happy issue of failure. I promise you there will be more.
Okay. Another question. Now, Bob presented 2 companies according to the information I got. Okay, and they are saying that Bob did 5 companies, only 2. So, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
only 2. And a bar, automatically the 2 they're going in because Baba Ngobale Abad. And how's your feeling around it?
They are lying. Chairperson, who confirm me, I think about beat.
Who confirm me?
Come meeting about it. I want to go to meeting got to. That's why the speaker before me, I will let you. Chairperson will confirm it. What if you I think about beat. The previous 10 meetings here in Falia indicator. Do you think you're going to beat or challenge somebody to beat? Because already Falia it was catering. So why one on the woman? They knew what Banyaka Falia. Why? Cover more Renali, the avocado, and Macadam didn't company getting the avocado. Why was that Nagi company? It's a lampilekati mula. Yagrumati, la Jolapit. Because why was the Lula tea? That's the only place more than tea. So why was it by Polavial avocado already? The Signal Nakabunchi avocado grows once, and a shower Yabuja 2 to 3 years. Ye by Vadilim or a tomo food baby shop. So, but by then, but over the guy. But Babanaka will 1,300. Presently, how many permanent are there? Gobalala Uswaka, Ufalia, presently, but she's not permanent. Sapekoe, what is the motive for no living? And Falia, the one only Modinuke, Mokin Nango, Namabanyaka Wanchawan, Baby Lugo, Mumarawaka, Mola agriculture. I love Melovian personal Bugo because he's a maid, it's in you but what I did. Or Mutanaga or the movie will all do one. I can write this is there. I'll go on to play with Bolanga.
Maybe Karakakarana will try go there.
Please, I will be able.
Alright, thank you.
Nagi Musimama Koba. It was a deep proof. Yerefe, Blasanyara will stay there. Resaluji. Resaluji wana lokola wana la Tsenya. Tsenya lona. Arokono peja tu. Arokono. Oh, Resaluji wana arokono. Oh, peja tusho. The Rabaja nobody toilet wana gano. Ribile masiga kaka rebella ko abiya ka bakala zezentu utswalele le lo re taba bona isale court mfeke sai kwanenga yona ka mkhoi le gore ba bile ba rena ya mamotla ya gore mamang swantse a take over a die mishuma die rena batho ba bantso re balela keng bana ba rena ba pallwa keng go gore ba re fe madulo rena ka rena re ke berekele
Lena ga botsebotse a le kwane le taba ya gore ba re go na le motho o tlotla mo a bereka a fa batho mishomo le nyaka go diregeng
batho rena bana ba rena ka bo bona a ba ke berekele a ba ke thomele mishomo ka bo bona.
I'm Levi Mashiani from Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. My responsibility is to assist the restituted lands, the people, the CPAs, the trust and so forth, especially when it comes to forming strategic partnerships with different potential investors.
How do you feel about today's meeting?
Yeah, no, it was great because it's one of those milestones, it's one of those steps, and I think to me it's more of an illustrious achievement knowing that this community have been suffering for so long, got the assets but they can't utilize them. Now at least today they have given their trust, they go ahead to start engaging now fully with the different partners. I think the two, HMH and the Wild Coast and so forth. So that is encouraging.
Any disappointments?
Not really. Yeah, not really. I think the people, well, there will always be some people who are negative, there's some people with negative energy who will always be there. But I think the majority of people really need development to take place in this area. So I can't say really there's any disappointment. So
Thank you so much.
always a pleasure, ma'am.
Does the leadership ya Ramakgoba take into consideration the views or the feeling of their community? We don't know. Thank you for tuning in for today's episode. Remember, if you have anything you want to tell us, you can send us an email. Is theirstory1895@gmail.com. We'll see you in our next upload.